Have you ever tried to stop a burp, not because you wanted to, but because you had to? Maybe you were sitting in a quiet classroom, maybe you were on your first date, or standing in front of dozens of people. You felt something rising inside your chest. You closed your mouth, held your breath, tried to force it back down, but then it happened anyway. For a second, it feels embarrassing, almost like your own body ignored you. But what if I told you your body didn't betray you? It actually saved you. The strange thing is, a burp isn't just air escaping from your stomach. It's the final step of a hidden safety system that has been protecting humans for millions of years, that your brain is willing to ignore your own decision just to keep it working. And once you understand why your body forces you to burp, you'll never think about this ordinary little reflex the same way again. Think about your last meal. Maybe it was a burger, a slice of pizza, or even something as simple as a sandwich. Now here's something you probably didn't notice. Every single time you swallowed food, you also swallowed tiny pockets of air, not once, not twice, but over and over again. Most of that air quietly slips into your stomach without you ever feeling it. And that's perfectly normal. In fact, every healthy person swallows some air while eating, drinking, laughing, or even talking. But here's where the story becomes strange. Swallowed air isn't the only source of gas inside your stomach. If you've ever opened a bottle of soda, you've seen thousands of tiny bubbles rushing to the surface. Those bubbles don't disappear when you drink them. Many of them end up inside your stomach. And once they're there, they begin expanding into gas. The pressure starts to build. At first, your stomach doesn't mind. It's designed to stretch. That's one of its amazing abilities. It expands every time you eat, so there's room for your meal. But it was never designed to become an overinflated balloon. And this raises another question. How does your body know when enough is enough? Because your stomach doesn't have eyes. It can't see how much gas is inside. Yet somehow, it always knows. The answer is hidden inside the walls of your stomach. Tiny stretch receptors are constantly watching. Every second, every minute, every day. They don't care whether you're eating breakfast or giving the most important presentation of your life. The moment your stomach stretches beyond a safe limit, those tiny sensors wake up. Almost instantly, they send a message to your brain, not with words, not with pain, but with electrical signals racing through one of the longest nerves in your entire body, the vagus nerve. Think of it as a private telephone line connecting your stomach directly to your brain. Most of the time, they're routine updates. Digestion is working, everything is fine, but when pressure keeps rising, the message suddenly changes. It becomes urgent. Release the pressure. And here's the part most people never realize. Your brain doesn't ask what you want. It simply starts solving the problem. Before you've even decided what to do, your brain has already made its decision. But solving the problem isn't as simple as opening a door. Because between your stomach and your throat sits a powerful muscle. It's called the Lower Esophageal Sphincter, or LES, most of the day. This muscle stays tightly closed, and that's a very good thing. Without it, powerful stomach acid could flow back into your throat every time you bent over or lay down. So this tiny ring of muscle spends every second protecting you. But the story gets even more interesting. The same muscle that normally refuses to open can suddenly relax for just a moment, not because you tell it to, because your brain tells it to. The pressure signal reaches the brain. The brain activates a reflex. The LES relaxes. Your diaphragm pushes upward. Your stomach gently squeezes. Your throat opens. And in less than a second, the trapped air escapes. It feels simple, but in reality, dozens of muscles and nerves have just worked together with perfect timing, without you consciously controlling a single one of them. That's why stopping a burp is much harder than people think. You can close your mouth, you can try swallowing again, you can even hold your breath, but your brain is still trying to finish the reflex. Sometimes the air stays trapped for a little longer, but that creates another mystery. What actually happens if the air never escapes? Imagine sealing a balloon and then continuing to blow more air into it. At first, nothing seems wrong. The balloon simply stretches, but keep going. Sooner or later, the pressure becomes too much. Your stomach faces a similar problem. If the trapped air can't escape, the pressure keeps building. You begin to feel bloated. Your stomach feels unusually full. But here's what most people don't realize. Sooner or later, the pressure becomes too much. Your stomach faces a similar problem. If the trapped air can't escape, the pressure keeps building. Your stomach feels unusually full. Sometimes the pressure even spreads into your chest. It can feel uncomfortable. Your body doesn't wait for that to happen. It acts before the pressure becomes a real problem. That's why burping isn't something your body does for fun. It's something it does for protection. Not everyone can burp. It sounds impossible. After all, everyone burps, right? Actually, no. There are people who physically can't. Doctors call the condition retrograde cricopharyngeus dysfunction, or R-CPD. It's often known as No-Burp Syndrome. For years, many people living with it had no idea they had a medical condition. They simply thought their stomach was sensitive, but inside their bodies, the same pressure kept building. Again and again, instead of releasing through a burp, the air became trapped. Many experienced severe bloating after meals. Others described painful pressure inside their chest, not because the air disappeared, because it couldn't escape. Think about that. The body was trying to burp, but one tiny muscle refused to open. It's like pressing the button to open an elevator, only for the doors to stay shut. The system is working, the command has been sent, but the exit never opens. The result isn't just discomfort. For some people, it changes the way they eat. Some avoid carbonated drinks completely. Others eat much smaller meals. Some even avoid restaurants because they know what happens afterward. And this teaches us something surprising. A normal burp is actually a sign that everything inside your body is working exactly as it should. Something we often apologize for is actually proof of an incredibly intelligent survival system. But this raises another question. Why did humans evolve this system in the first place? Why not simply keep the gas inside forever? The answer goes back, not hundreds of years, not thousands, but millions. Our ancestors were already swallowing air while eating. Their digestive systems were already producing gas. Without a safe way to release that pressure, eating would become increasingly difficult. The stomach would stay uncomfortable, digestion would become less efficient, and over time, that could reduce the chances of survival. Natural selection doesn't only reward dramatic changes, sometimes it rewards tiny improvements. Generation after generation, bodies that could safely manage stomach pressure simply worked better. Those small advantages accumulated, slowly, quietly, across millions of years. Every healthy human carries that same ancient reflex. If this video changed the way you think about something as ordinary as a burp, subscribe to Sketch Signal, where we uncover the hidden science behind the everyday things your body does. And now, we want to hear from you. What body mystery should we explore next? Why do we yawn? Why do we hiccup? Or why do we get goosebumps? Leave your suggestion in the comments. It might become our very next story.